Now, if the marvels of the four-cylinder doesn't smoke your tyres and you have a fetish for all things exotic, then this may just be the answer to your desires. No, people, I mean the cars. Welcome to the might of the GTRNZ class.
Basically, it was Super GT, Oscar, and New Zealand Super Sedans. We were struggling with numbers, all of us, a little bit. We were growing, but not at perhaps the rate that we wanted to. So we all got together, we broke down the barriers, and I guess you see the success of what we have here today. So it's been really good. So how the class now works is it runs under the governing label of GTRNZ, and we have NZGT, which is the entry level to the class, and it's time break. So you come in at NZGT, if you exceed those times, you go into GT2. Once you've run in GT2 and you exceed those times, then you go into GT1. And what it does is provides the competitor the entry where they're comfortable to stay. There's no force to move on unless they exceed the times.
So can you try and explain to us how the time factor works for these classes?
Yeah, it is actually quite complex the way the structure works and the time breaks, because it's broken down over 3 tracks. But in essence, at Pukekohe, a 1 minute 4 for NZGT and under a minute for GT1. So that's in basic terms how she works.
Now, it's not just the big cubes, is there? There is actually a big range of vehicles in the classes.
Well, we think that's part of the success. I mean, what we've got here is there's no bias towards any engine type or car. People in the stands and the public generally can come to these things and relate to them. They all keep their replica silhouettes, if you like. And yes, they're powered by a number of different engines. For instance, we've got a Camaro here today that's running a rotary engine. So there's something here that should tickle everybody.
In fact, that would be probably the only class in New Zealand motorsport where you'll get a piston engine on the same track at the same time as a rotary.
That's dead right, and like I say, that's part of the attraction, and I think that really and firmly believe that keeps the competitor interested. They work on the stuff at home. There's no huge dollars being spent in this class at this stage, and a guy can build stuff at home, bring it along here, run it against a rotary or vice versa, and it's excellent.
Come on now, be honest, a rotary and a Camaro, surely he must be getting heckled all the time.
He is. He's working on changing the way the body looks, but we better not go into that too much.
So, is this sacrilege indeed true? Is there someone out there with the audacity to even think about the idea of a rotary inside a machine of such nostalgia and prestige? Say it ain't so. Cameron Jones, what on earth were you thinking?
Well, somebody had to do it, mate. Like all the other cars have got V8s in it, so we've never been one to copy anybody, so we bought this off Paul Peterson probably about 4 months ago. The boys have worked real hard and we fitted the 13B turbo in it. Paul was a bit shocked actually when I rocked up and wanted to buy the car, and I says I don't really want the engine. But hey, it's gone real good. We got third at the first round at Taupo. Today we're having a few qualms with the electrical system, so hopefully we're on full power for the race and see what those guys have got.
Well, in Taupo, okay, third, that means you are actually competitive against 8 cylinders.
Yeah, like at 3 seconds a lap quicker than the RX-7, so that was kind of pleasing. The car was only 50 grand, so we haven't quite outlaid the money like some of the other V8 guys have, but at the end of the day, hey, this class is awesome, mate. You've got all sorts of things on the grid, and to be up there with some of the front Trans Am GT1 cars racing around and with a home built, our rotary engine, and we build all the engines and stuff ourselves, so it's a good feeling, when you do real good, and the Kiwi ingenuity thing lives on, that's for sure.
What about the class you're in, the GT1? Are you restricted by anything?
Yeah, we're just restricted by the amount of tyres we can use, so pretty much anything else, you just lay the checkbook on the table and get into it.
question is, did you shove it up him?
Not today, mate. We've had a few issues, but we'll be back at Manfield in about a month and a bit's time and have a go. We've had a few dilemmas with the electrical system this weekend, which is a bit unfortunate. Hey, new car, mate, we're having a ball, to cheer around here at these sort of speeds in one of these cars. There's nothing quite like it. Well, there is, but it involves 2 other people.
Now, one of the brutes that Cameron Jones has to deal with is Johnny Rae, and I basically mean his car, but he is a man who is happy to share his feelings on such blasphemy.
Cameron Jones, yeah, he's a bit different. I mean, like, hey, we run the All-American Americana car show as well, so to see a Trans Am Camaro turned into a, what are you going to call this thing? You know, like, it doesn't make the right noises, but hey, he's happy. It's another good car on the track and he's having fun. He'll wake up one day and realise that, 8 cylinders better, up and down is better than around and around.
Talk us through your car then, because this is what you would define as the true muscle. Lots of cubes, and it looks very shiny. Talk us through it.
Look, it's just a 2002 Luganotti Trans Am car out of the States that we fully rebuilt last year. Not dissimilar to Grant Brennan's car, a newer version than Andy Greenslate's car. That is a space frame car with I think the only thing that's original on it is the taillights from a Corvette. And Christ, had to buy some new ones of those, and they're made in Taiwan. I was spewing. So we crossed out the made in Taiwan and put made in USA because they look better. But it's just an old Trans Am car from the States we've rebuilt. Put a 400 cubic inch all aluminium injected engine in it with 6-speed sequential gearbox. Upgraded the brakes. We just get out there and have some fun with the boys. And we don't have the budget to come testing, which I'd like to be doing, but. You got to work to pay the bills, so, and this whole class, you've got Mustangs, you've got ex-Aussie V8 touring cars, you've got old Trans Ams, new Trans Ams, one very strange tall guy that's got a rotary in a Camaro, which, it's going to be sick, anyway. But look, the bottom line is it's about having fun with a bunch of guys. This whole GDNZ class, there's not a lot of rules. Maybe we might need a few rules as time comes along. And currently they are the fastest cars in the country getting together, and we just hope the public enjoy them.
And how did Mr. Rae go? Well, not too bad actually. He managed to push hard enough for 2nd overall in the GT1 class, with Mr. Brennan taking the glamour spot. And you really want to know who took 3rd? Are you sure you can cope? Well, Rotary fans, raise your hands as the V8 boys hang their heads in shame, because the 666 650 horsepower 13B turbo certainly made heads turn, Mr. Jones. We are not worthy. In the GT2 class, Craig Corliss pushed his Ford Falcon V8 supercar into the overall winner's circle with consistent driving that kept them up the pointy end of the field. While the NZ GT class, it was a tougher game with such a big field, but Colin Meadows managed to win the Pukekohe round in his Corvette. But behind all the different checkered flags, I reckon one chap was particularly pleased.